Are you ready to make more money doing what you love this year? Well, the Dream Bigger Mastermind is for you. We're talking real results like going from $2,000 months to $8,000 months, landing promotions to C-suite roles, working with dream clients, and so much more. Doors are now officially open and spaces are limited. We're starting February 25th, so apply today, and let's make 2025 your most abundant and aligned year yet. Link in the show notes. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Breathe More. Let's just start our episode today with connecting with our breath. I feel like things have been so stressful, chaotic, insane, and you've probably been feeling really stressed out and maybe even scared and overwhelmed. So let's go back to basics. I'm going to invite you in whatever you're doing right now, whether you're walking, present, multitasking, let's take a deep inhale in through your nose. And slow, long exhale out. For this next inhale, let's use our shoulders. So as you take an inhale, let's bring our shoulders up towards our ears. So taking a deep breath in, massaging the tension out of our upper back, our shoulders, our neck, and exhaling through our mouth, and dropping the shoulders. Let's do one more deep inhale in through your nose. And a slow, long exhale out. Good. I hope that by taking these breaths, you're feeling more present and centered, which is so needed right now. For today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about the framework that I use in my Dream Bigger Mastermind to help my clients move through whatever challenging moment they're going through. And this last week, it was really intense in our calls. I have 2 groups going. And in each group, we have someone who might be affected by the federal funding freezes that are happening. And there's a lot of fear and scarcity that came from that. We also have a couple of people who are looking for a new job, someone who's returning to work after a leave of absence, just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of feeling like, is it going to happen? Scarcity, fear, old programming being triggered right now. And so as a way to help you, if this is resonating with you, I want to take you through my step-by-step approach that I use with my clients so that you can come back to an empowered and more hopeful and open state. And it's also important to remember that no matter what is going on in the world, there's always going to be horrific things happening. Life is always going to happen. There can be moments where we feel like things are good, and then all of a sudden an unexpected thing happens. And one of the things that I love to empower my clients with is to learn tools and to use them on their own, to do self-coaching, to do grounding exercises, to know how to regulate themselves so that they can show up in moments of stress and overwhelm and uncertainty and maybe even danger in a calmer, clear way so that they're making decisions from a place of confidence versus a place of fear and being reactionary. So using the example of one of my clients in Dream Bigger Mastermind, where she doesn't even have a federal job. Like, she works at a corporate company, but this organization, this company, most of their contracts are from the federal government. And so with this funding freeze, this might affect her company. And right away, all the people at her work immediately started to panic and wondering, like, what does that mean for us? Are we going to lose our projects that we've had for like 30 years? Are we going to have to lay off people? What does this mean? And so she was feeling that panic as well, and that worry and going to worst case scenario. So immediately her brain went to the place of like, oh my gosh, I might lose my job. And she never thought that that would be possible, right? She's very senior at this position, at this company, and she was planning on retiring there. And then I have another client who was looking forward to going to a new job and interviewing for some potential positions within her department. But again, with this freeze of fundings, those opportunities for promotion and just to change departments went away. And so I was seeing her energy feeling completely defeated and feeling so stuck, like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get out of this. And on top of it, like, who knows if I will even have a job? Like right now, they're just telling us there's no way that I can move to another position. But the other potential is that they might even get rid of my current position. And that's a really scary place to be in, especially when you're someone who has played it safe your whole life. You're someone who got the job, got the corporate job, got the federal job, the state job, the county job, and have stayed there because you thought that that was what was going to give you financial stability and safety and employment. And that's not the case. I always remind people, I have never worked in corporate. Like I started even from college after graduating, basically as a freelancer and hopping around different careers. And so I personally don't have that experience, but most of my clients do. And it's such a false sense of security because at the end of the day, and this is what I tell them, unfortunately, no matter how amazing you are at your job or what you contribute to the company, you're also just a budget line. And if worse comes to worse, they're probably not going to think twice about whether or not they should keep you or not, if it means that they need to do that in order for them as a whole to survive. And that is why I encourage everyone to think about what else can you do? Is there a side business that you can start? Is there a business that you can just do full time? Is there any other way that you can make money so that you feel financially secure and not dependent on a job or anything else that you feel like you don't have full control over? And so that was something that came through where it was a reflection with one of my clients of, I've been so comfortable at this company for so long and I've been coasting. I've been really comfortable and I've always had these side passions and projects that I want to do and have been doing. But this has lit a fire in me to really figure out how to make it happen more into a full-time thing and quicker. And so the process that we went through to get to this place of okay, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to be proactive is my dream bigger framework. And so step one is the awareness step. And so I asked them, what are these feelings about? What is the panic? Why is your brain going to this place of catastrophic thoughts of thinking, I'm going to be fired tomorrow? And the second part to this question is, are these thoughts true? Because our mind is such a creative being, if you will. It will come up with the worst things. And if we entertain them, and if any part of it rings true, we will obsess over it. And that's not really helpful because a lot of times then what happens is people end up shutting down, they give up, they feel hopeless, they fall into a little mini depression, they get anxiety. It's not an empowering and helpful state to be in. Completely normal, for sure. And I'm not talking about bypassing any emotions. That's why the first part of the awareness step is to identify, what am I feeling and why? Do these feelings remind me of another time in my life or someone else? And are these feelings, are these thoughts that I'm having actually true? Is this my current reality? And most often it's not, right? Most often you're still in the same place when you got this news, which was employed and looking for that new opportunity, working towards their side hustle. So once we have identified what is going on and you have some clarity on why you're feeling how you're feeling, we go into step 2, which is the actualization step. So this is where the healing happens. This is where we start to reprogram our unconscious mind and we start to present a new way of thinking about things, the reframe. So what I did in my mastermind is we dropped in to a meditation, into a mindset exercise. And I had them also do the awareness part in this exercise with dropping in, closing eyes, and taking some deep breaths. But the reprogramming happened by then having them reflect on what else is true right now. Who are you today? And so for a lot of my clients is, I am someone who is in a very different place than I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I am someone who now has a lot of experience. I'm intelligent. I'm responsible. I have tools. I trust myself that I'll figure it out. I have a network of support. We also, so that we validate the part of you that wants to reject all of this, we validate the worst case scenario. So I have them think about, okay, if everything goes out the window, what might be the worst thing that happens? You lose your job. Can you still pay your mortgage? Do you have to sell your house? Do you have to move? What needs to happen? So that part is okay, you heard me. This is the most terrifying thing that could ever happen. And I'm acknowledging it. And then we go into the reframe. It's okay, and then what is the best thing that can happen? And so even in the laying off, let's say, the best thing that can happen is I go to a new company where I'm making more money, or I spend the time between now and then in launching my side business and growing my soulful business, right? And so as they're going through this journey of connecting with their current truth, with who they are, with the qualities that they have, that will allow them to figure out what to do next, that is when their energy starts to shift. And so oftentimes when doing this exercise with my clients, afterwards they share, oh my gosh, I feel so much lighter. I'm actually feeling excited. Yes, there's so much more out there. This isn't the only thing. And then after that, after the healing, after the reprogramming, after the reframes, step 3 is the achievement. And so that is when we start to take action, where either I help them come up with a strategy or a plan on what they need to do next to have the result that they desire. So, they can't control whether or not they keep their job. But in the meantime, what can they do to feel better prepared? So is the resume updated? Do they need to update the LinkedIn profile? Are they going to dedicate just more energy to growing their side business? What can you do? Go out networking, let people know, hey, this is what I do, right? It sounds really simple, but this is a lot of the work that most people never do. They often just stay in step number 1. Or sometimes I see also people stay stuck in step number 2 in the actualization, where they become kind of obsessive with healing because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. And so then they book the next psychic reading or the healing session or whatever it may be. But it is rare the number of people that then actually take the action required to achieve their goals. And so it's a whole movement. It's a journey that we go on. And that's why presently my Dream Bigger Mastermind is 6 months. Because at the beginning, we're doing a lot of healing. And right now, we're in the last 2 months of Dream Bigger Mastermind. And these other layers have been activated that need attention. And so we're going back to the beginning. But at this point, we're really quick with the process. So it's not like we're staying in the healing or the awareness for too long. We can do it in one session, and then we move on to, okay, what do I have to do next? When I started Mastermind, I only had it for 2 months, and I quickly realized oh, that is not enough time. We were just getting in the flow of things, and then it stopped. And so we really need the runway. We need the 6 months, and actually more than that. This is why so many of my clients rejoin, because they want to continue that momentum. And so if you right now are feeling hopeless, you've been looking for a job for a long time, you've been sitting on starting that side business, you've been afraid of selling your services, there's no time like right now. We really need people like you who have gifts to share, who are kind humans, who are compassionate, to have all the support and strength for this quote unquote fight that we have. And what I mean by that is that so that we can be there for our loved ones, for our community. It doesn't help anyone if all of us are shut down and stuck in the overwhelmed and avoidance, in the frozen state. And so I invite you today to do this process, to think about, what am I feeling and why? Are these thoughts that I have true, or are they stories from the past? Is it even mine? What is a different way that I can view my current circumstances? What else is true that's empowering, that acknowledges who you are? And then lastly, what steps can I take and what support can I reach out to help me get out of this situation or to change my reality? There you have it. It's that simple, the Dream Bigger framework. I love it. It's so powerful and it gets people results real quick. And I would like to guide you through this process. So if this is resonating with you, if you're feeling like, hey, I can do this exercise alone, but like I really need the results, and not just the results, but the accountability to make it happen, I would love to have you in this upcoming round of Dream Bigger Mastermind. We are starting the week of February 24th. We're going to have 2 groups going again. One group will be Tuesday. First date that we're starting is the 25th. And that group will be at 10 a.m. Pacific time for 90 minutes. And then we'll have a second group on Wednesdays, starting February 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 90-minute call. These are going to be intimate groups. Usually I have about 6 people per group so that everybody has enough time to share, to get support, to workshop things. And you also have support outside of our group calls. And so that allows us to continue to have quantum leap results. You heard Lucy's story just last week, how she went from $500 a week as a massage therapist to having her first $8,000 month. And I'm currently helping her to achieve her $100,000 goal. We have so many stories as well of people, having a project, a passion, an idea to like write their book for 20 years. And then they finally joined Mastermind and they just completed their first story and are starting on their novel. We have others who were in a toxic job. They didn't like it. And 2 months into being in Mastermind, they manifested a new job where their pay increase jumped like 30%, something insane. And they're really thriving right now. So if you're looking to uplevel your life, if you're looking for positive change, lasting positive change, because it's not just about the outcome, it's about the deep healing that we also do in this group, I would love to have you in Dream Bigger Mastermind, and I welcome you. So click on the show notes to fill out the application. And also, if you are listening to this before Thursday, February 6th, I'm hosting a free masterclass called Breakthrough Your Money Blocks. And so this is going to be about moving energy on scarcity mentality, talking more about the framework. So feel free to attend. You can also sign up in the link under upcoming events. And I'm here for you. So know that you're not alone. Whether you're joining Mastermind or you join my community gatherings, like whatever it is, I always love hearing from you. Please reach out. Don't lose hope. We need you. We need your magic. We will get through this, and we're going to get through this thriving. That is my goal. In our power, sharing our gifts, spreading our light. Thank you so much for listening today, and we'll be back next time. Bye.